And good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. I am your host, Josh Engel. Today we're going to be chatting about recycling. E-recycling, to be specific. We're chatting today with Keep Carroll Beautiful. We have the director, Martyna Griffin, and we have board member and Southwire affiliate, Hannah Smith. Good morning, ladies. How are y'all?
Good morning. We're great.
Morning.
All right. We'll pull those mics a little bit closer to you there. Should have said that prior to the program. So we're going to be talking today about e-recycling. It's coming up this Saturday. And there might be folks who are unaware of what e-recycling is. So first of all, why don't we first talk about the organization? So Keep Carroll Beautiful is a nonprofit here in the area. Tell us a bit about Keep Carroll Beautiful, its mission, and all that.
Sure. Keep Carrol Beautiful is a local nonprofit that focuses on environmental issues, but not in like making everybody drive a Prius. It's more keeping our community nice and clean and healthy, a little bit green and just pleasant to live in. So we have we focus on three programs. One is litter prevention and removal. Those are our Adopt a Road programs, Adopt a Trail programs, and we basically send volunteers out to pick up trash that other people accidentally drop somewhere.
We're not sure why. We're not sure
Yes.
why still yet.
Yeah, but
Sprite bottles, stacks of lottery tickets, things just fall out of cars sometimes.
Yeah, Monster drink cans and beer cans. Yeah, those are all over our roadway. So
I love that we're assuming the best of everyone.
Yeah, I mean we have data from our latest litter index, and the blue cans are everywhere, and everybody noticed them. So every route we have, and we have routes in every single district in Carroll County, it came back as, why are people throwing out those blue beer cans on the side of the road? So
last I checked, it was illegal to drink beer in a moving vehicle.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's just trash flying out of the vehicle or if it's just something that people throw out. But though that was very visible for our index participants. So other than litter, we do recycling. And while we stopped doing most of intake in our office right now, we only take batteries and some other small items. We have a lot of information on local recycling options on our website. So we can tell you where to recycle your light bulbs, where to recycle electronics, well, to recycle plastic bags, and how to recycle in our convenience centers for Carroll County and in the city recycling, the single stream that different cities have in the county. So you can check what Carrollton's doing, what Mount Zion is doing, what Bowden is doing, Villarica, and so on. So we have information on that as well.
That is excellent. So it's a very wide-reaching organization. You guys are one of the busiest nonprofits in the local community. You're always doing work. Now, I did want to, I know we're here to talk about e-recycling, the event that's going to be happening this weekend, but you brought up the litter index. And I'd love to hear more about how that turned out. If you wouldn't mind, please give listeners a brief synopsis of what the litter index is.
Sure. A couple of years ago, actually, the name was changed to Community Appearance Index. So it basically measures how the community looks like to a person who's driving through our county, in our case. So the event is fairly simple. In the normal year, we have a van or two, and we have people having a party in the van, driving through the county and looking out the window, trying to see how much trash is on the roadside.
Oh yeah, it's a great time. We have a good time.
So it's a very pleasant event, and it combines just meeting new people and volunteering and doing the work of checking how much litter we have in the community. But
it's really eye-opening as well.
Yeah.
Last year was the first time I did it, and I guess you're always driving around town, but you never have the goal of just looking for trash.
Yeah.
Until this event, and I was like, whoa. Okay.
Especially with
and
some
I
of
live
these,
here. I live here.
Some of these tracks will take you through. Some of these paths will take you through some of the unseen sections of the county, because you guys determine paths based on like trying to get an overall look at the county.
The routes were set by a county planner a few years back. So we are doing the same routes year after year, so we can compare the numbers for the same road sections, and they cover 10 one-mile sections of each district in Carroll County. So we go District 1 through 6, and some of those are more rural, so some of them are more in the cities. But if you've never been to, let's say, a west part of the Carroll County, like you did the route around Bowden, it's a beautiful route, but you may have never been there because that's just not the way that you go to do your shopping. You don't work there, so it's also a good way to explore Carroll County too.
And as Hannah said, you'll be surprised. You'll go
One of these back streets and you're like, oh my God, like who would have thought there's all these blue cans, or Mountain Dew bottles back here.
Right.
So how did it all turn out? I mean, have all the scores been calculated? Has there been a new score?
Yes, we just received the last two routes last week, so I was able to pull it all up, and it's actually not as bad as we were afraid it would be. The sheriff's department was not doing pickups for 6 months last year because of COVID. And of course, they had less staff and less people available to do the cleanups. But I think they may have caught up by February, March, because the score is just slightly worse than it was last year. So last year, our score for the county total was 1.56, and this year is 1.64. So it's not a huge change.
That's so good that it's not more significant. Now, would someone mind speaking on why that score is so important?
It shows us if we make progress towards cleaning up the roads. So a few years ago, the score was into the twos, and maybe I should have mentioned that our scale is 1 through 4, with 1 being completely clean and 4 being really, really bad.
So 2 is not great. It's right there in the middle.
2 is not great. 2 is basically 2 means that if you drive through a road, you constantly see trash, but it's not huge piles of trash. But let's see. So you go from a mailbox to a mailbox, and there's a couple of pieces of trash around each property, basically. 3 is someone dumping bags, and 4 is basically a dump on the side of the road.
Just couches and just burned out cars.
Yeah.
That's terrible. But, thank you for giving us an update on that. I know that definitely affects, everything. Socioeconomic factors, that crime rate, it affects it all. So I really appreciate you taking the time to update listeners on that. Now, in terms of the e-recycling, do we have an idea of how the last e-recycling turned out? The one later in last year.
We do.
Nice.
So last year, due to COVID, we were limited to just one event. I know normally we do 2. We have the spring and the fall. And some people were very sad to know that we only did a fall one. But our fall one was a success. We recycled 28,567 pounds of electronics, which is fantastic, especially since we were at a new location. We were at Midway, so I know folks were it was different, right? And this year it still is different because we're at Tabernacle Church this year. So it's
switching it up.
So we're keeping you on your toes, right? But we are excited for it to be more central to Carrollton. And then, of course, in the fall, my hope is that we're kind of a little bit more back to normal, where we'll have 1 in Carrollton and 1 in Billerica. But we'll have to keep y'all posted on that one. It may change again, just due to circumstances. So we'll see what happens. But we're excited this year.
That's a lot of e-recycling. That's a lot of materials collected.
Right. Well, I constantly have to remind myself and others that really, if you are on a weekend in the middle of the summer, there's nowhere for you really to take your electronics unless you decide to go to Douglasville or Newnan or Atlanta, which is a drive. Granted, Douglasville and Newnan is not that far up the road, but it's still a drive for you to haul everything in your car, take it there, recycle it, and first you've got to do your research on where to go. Do they have pricing? Does it cost?
Make sure you have a tarp to cover up the back of the vehicle.
Exactly. And then you throw kids in the mix, and then you're just like, oh yeah, no, there's just no way. There's just no way. So we Keep Carroll Beautiful, and all of our partners really love the fact that it's local, that you don't have to drive anywhere. It's free, so you don't have to worry about, especially for the privacy of your information on the computer, because our recycling vendor, Atlanta Recycling Solutions, is a national certified. It's R2 certification, which means that your information is kept private and they handle it safely, because you never know, like if you're going to some mom and pop shop in Douglasville or anywhere else really for that matter, is it
secure?
Is it secure? Is it safe?
I don't want my social security numbers and bank numbers going out the back door.
Right. And I know your information is important to you, so it's important to keep Carroll Beautiful, and we want to keep it safe and secure.
Excellent. Well, on that, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Martyna Griffin and Hannah Smith as we talk about Keep Carrol Beautiful's upcoming e-recycling. And don't forget, this is being live streamed on our WLBB 1330 News Talk. It's on our Facebook page. So if you want to jump on there and put some comments in, I'll be happy to read the questions and comments off of the Facebook page. So be sure to go do that, but we'll be right back.
Travel, get-togethers, Sunday morning worship. COVID-19 has almost put a stop to our way of life. Vaccination is our best shot at getting back to normal. The COVID-19 vaccine is based on more than a decade of research. Trials show it's safe and can provide up to 95% protection when you've received both doses. Tanner is committed to making the vaccine as widely available as possible, giving you a shot at getting back to life. Until then, keep wearing your mask, washing your hands, and avoid gatherings. Learn more and get updates at tanner.org/vaccine.
At Oak Mountain Academy, our daily schedule includes convocation, prayer, and the Pledge of Allegiance. By doing so, we build a family-like community where all students grow and flourish and personal faith is encouraged. Through community service and a historical approach to biblical study, our students are taught the value of the warrior way, honesty, respect, and responsibility. Oak Mountain Academy, we are a family creating legacies. To learn more, visit oakmountain.us.
And we're back to Community Voice. I'm your host, Josh Engel. Today we're chatting with Keep Carrol Beautiful, the nonprofit organization serving the local community. We have the director, Martyna Griffin, and board member, Hannah Smith. We're so glad to have you ladies here in the studio. As I mentioned right before the break, we are live streaming on our WLBB Facebook page. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to add those to the Facebook live stream, and I, your humble host, will read them out loud during the program. We already have our first comment from Belle Allen. They say, good morning. Well, good morning, Belle. I appreciate that. Thank you for saying that. So, all right. So Keep Carrol Beautiful's e-recycling. Let's talk about it. What's happening? When is it happening? Where is it happening? Tell us the whole story.
Okay, so we are going to be at Tabernacle Baptist Church in Carrollton on Tabernacle off Tabernacle Drive.
That's just up behind Kroger, right?
Yes, it's just behind Kroger. It's across the street from the Carrollton City School campus. So it's right off the Carrollton bypass. So it's really easy to get there. You don't have to go through town. You could go on the bypass, get there, get in, get out in 3.5 minutes. Is that our average last year?
I would say so. We always say every year, the goal is to be Chick-fil-A. Like, they've got it down so well that we want to copy them and emulate them. So
R&D, rip off and duplicate.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you, David Daniels. But so we've got it set up this year where there's one entrance kind of closer to the bypass. You'll circle in. And if you will stay in your car, just to be, again, safe on the COVID side, as well as it's just going to be quicker for you, really. I think it was quicker last year when everybody stayed in their cars. When you get out, it takes longer on you as well as the volunteers, because we're just trying to figure out where your electronics is. So
someone gets out and starts talking to a volunteer or something. Clogs up the whole works.
Right. So if you'll stay in your car and just have your electronics like in your back trunk or in your back seat, and you can roll down your window, we'll do your little entrance questions, and we'll say, hey, your electronics is in the back. Pop up your trunk. We'll take it out for you. We've got volunteers. And then we'll say, have a nice day. Enjoy your Saturday.
That's great.
And
give
also,
them a piece of candy and they take off.
Exactly.
It's good to remember to not put anything valuable next to the items that we're taking out, because I think in the past we had someone, you took my bag of groceries, this is not going. So if you could please just put only your electronics in one spot, back seat, trunk.
Mm-hmm.
Keep things separated.
If you have anything that you don't want us to take, just keep it, in a different spot, and we'll take everything out and carry it to our boxes, recycle it for you, and you'll be on your way in under 5 minutes.
So, we're, a lot of folks may not be, I know this is a long time recycling effort, a partnership between Southwire and Keep Carrol Beautiful. I know at least as of 2015 or 16, there was over 1 million pounds of electronics collected. I mean, it's a huge deal. But why is it so important to recycle electronics?
Well, I think it's a compilation of, again, kind of what I was talking earlier. One, it's not very easily accessible to we don't have a recycling center that deals with electronics here in Carrollton. So accessibility is one, but also just for We don't want it on the roads. And then 2, we don't want it leaching into our groundwater. So lots of electronics, your televisions, your computers, your laptops, they have precious minerals, which honestly a lot of companies want. They want to recycle those minerals. It's cheaper for them, right? To get something used rather than go mine the new stuff. But also when you put it into a landfill, depending on the landfill, if it's not like suited for electronics, which most of them are not, there's risk that it could leach into the water, which could lead into groundwater. So, and especially in our area, I know people who still have wells, right?
Oh, sure.
And I don't want them to be, poisoned by mercury or any other type of poisonous metal. So
just because I wanted to throw my printer out, in the road.
Yes.
And then
So we want it off the streets and we want it out of landfills. Really, those are the 2 big hitters for me, at least.
Excellent. So what kind of materials can folks bring? I mean, I know a lot of folks, again, have done this before, but there might be folks who haven't. So what can you bring to the recycling event on Saturday?
The easiest way to kind of differentiate between electronics and electric devices is electronics are things that process data. So like your computer, your phone, your tablets, your speakers. Electricity comes in, something comes out that is not another form of power like heat or wind. So electric devices are those that take electricity and produce heat, like your heaters, fans that blow air. Those are not accepted. So anything that is home office, your work office, printers, computers, TVs, DVD players, those are welcome. We also take all different types of cables. We take batteries during that event, and we don't take things like appliances, big or small.
Like your coffee pots.
Yeah.
Don't bring those.
Yeah.
Take those to your local thrift store. That's what we recommend.
A coffee pot heats water up. If it's heating or cooling or blowing air, it's a no-no. So we don't take vacuums. We don't take fans. We don't take lamps. But we'll take, your calculators, your TV remotes, anything that has that little motherboard inside. If you think it has a
video
green
games,
thing.
all that jazz.
Yeah. Walkmans.
Oh, classic. I like that. Yeah. So pretty much anything that's not like a power tool,
yes.
That's not, like, as you mentioned, a cleaning device or something that deals with water. I mean, for the most part, so maybe not kitchen items, and maybe not garage items, but everything else, TVs, VCRs, DVD players, it's not a big deal. Now, what about in terms of TVs? So, I mean, of course, most folks have those big flat screens now, but I mean, what if you have like one of those projection TVs or one of those console TVs with the wooden thing? Can you bring those or no?
No, every year I think we've got them all last year. Like, there's no more.
Surely no one else in the county has this.
No one else has them. But every year someone brings a wooden TV, and I'm still amazed because, I remember them. My grandmother had them. We had one, but yes, no, I'm shocked every year. But no, we cannot recycle those. And every year, the reason is it's really hard to separate the wood from the glass and the plastic and all the metals. So we do not accept those. And then the projection TVs, it's kind of the same deal. Like the way they were made, it's just harder to separate. So that's why our recycling vendor cannot take those.
And let's give a shout out to the vendor that you guys are going to be using. Is it still Atlanta Recycling Solutions?
Yes. Atlanta Recycling Solution has been working with us for the last 15, 16 years. And like you said, I think we surpassed 1.5 million pounds of electronics, in the last year or two. So it's a lot of stuff that they processed for us.
And one more time, you guys mentioned, we have a comment here. From David Weiner. Yay. Hello, nice people. Thanks for the recycling event. Thank you, David. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. We are happy to provide this service to our community.
He's going to be bummed because he's going to show up with a big wooden TV. And you're going to
just don't bring that. Don't bring your coffee pots
Go on Pinterest, turn it into a fish tank or turn it into like a little shadow box for photos. Now, you guys mentioned, I know Hannah was talking a bit earlier about security in terms of personal information, because some of these electronics have our bank information.
I mean, your phone. If you have an old phone that stopped working and you cannot erase the data from it, if someone gets into that thing because your password is 1111, they have access to everything that you ever did in your life. They have your email, your Facebook, your Instagram, your TikTok. I don't know if there's 50 other apps, your bank account.
Or the app that holds all your passwords.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, there's 3 Josh Ingalls in Thailand or something. That's not good. We don't need that.
Yeah.
So Atlanta Recycling Solutions, do they take care of that?
Correct. It is like, so once the electronics are transported on their facility, they are in what I would call a secure space, right? So it is from the moment they get on to the moment they exit, they are secure. And they are nationally certified, which is an R2 certification, which every recycling vendors at Southwire has ever worked with is R2 certified. So they've been vetted. And again, they've been in long partnership with Keep Carroll Beautiful for over 10 years. We really enjoy working with them. We are excited for them to be here this Saturday. We love working with them. They're great folks. But yes, so it's everything from the moment your personal items are on site, they are in a secure zone.
Excellent.
And that's why it's very important to be at the recycling location at Tabernacle Baptist Church between 9 and 1 p.m. because after 1, at 1 sharp, they put a lock on their truck and they seal it and make note who sealed it and a little seal number. So we cannot accept anything after that because it's basically locked and secure for transportation. So 1 p.m., we basically have to shut the event down.
Excellent. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and take our second break, but when we come back, we will continue our conversation with Martyna Griffin, the director of Keep Carroll Beautiful, and Keep Carroll Beautiful board member and Southwire employee Hannah Smith. So stay with us.
Travel, get-togethers, Sunday morning worship. COVID-19 has almost put a stop to our way of life. Vaccination is our best shot at getting back to normal. The COVID-19 vaccine is based on more than a decade of research. Trials show it's safe and can provide up to 95% protection when you've received both doses. Tanner is committed to making the vaccine as widely available as possible, giving you a shot at getting back to life. Until then, keep wearing your mask, washing your hands, and avoid gatherings. Learn more and get updates at tanner.org/vaccine.
At Oak Mountain Academy, our academic excellence shines through innovation and a personalized educational experience. Our pre-K 3 through 12th grade environment offers a family-oriented atmosphere. We are an independent school with faith-based values and an academy honor code. Our academic standards prepare our students for college and beyond. I'm Patrick Duran, headmaster, inviting you to visit us on the mountain or at oakmountain.us. Come see how our warriors are creating legacies.
And we're back to Community Voice. I am your host, Josh Engel. We're chatting with Keep Carroll Beautiful in the studio today. Keep Carroll Beautiful. We have the director, Martyna Griffin, as well as board member, Hannah Smith. Today we're chatting about the e-recycling event. It's going to go on this Saturday. If you just tuned in, be sure to go back and check out the podcast of this episode or the Facebook Live stream of this episode, which is going on now. So if you have any last-minute questions, be sure to go over to the WLBB Facebook page, throw those questions in on the live stream, and I'll be happy to ask Hannah and Martyna your questions. So we've been chatting about the event. Now, you mentioned during the break, what if someone were to have a trailer full of electronics? Because, everybody's got like a printer, everybody's got some phones, but if you show up like an office building with just tons of printers, what do you got to do there?
Right, and especially if you're a local business, because that's something I do want to reiterate, is that it's not just open to like your household, but it is open to businesses as well. So we want to offer that service to them. So yes, if you have a trailer full of electronics that you are getting ready, you're excited, please call Keep Carroll Beautiful or email us at info@keepcarrollbeautiful.org. Correct me if I'm wrong, Marty. That's right? Yeah. Okay. And again, that's info@keepcarrollbeautiful.org, as well as you can also go to our website or our Facebook and you will find our email address. Please email us saying that you're coming, so that way we know you're coming and we can be prepared for you, because we just don't want to overload our volunteers.
Sure, yeah. It'd be bad if it's like 30 minutes left on the day and everyone's wore out, and then someone shows up with a big flatbed full of printers. It's like, all right, or copiers. We got, it's good to have some heads up.
Yes. And just so because we want your time there to be simple and easy and efficient, right? We don't want you staying there long, right?
The organization goes out of their way to make everything as easy as possible, and I know the community is so thankful for that. Now, recycling events like this, these are very expensive. And I know that Keep Carroll Beautiful expends a lot of money to keep the county clean and to take care of our local community. But I know that you can't do it on your own. Have companies stepped forward to help pull this off?
Yes, we have a long standing relationship with Southwire and their strong sustainable Southwire program. So we are very thankful for them helping us organize the event and carry the cost of it. But we also work with the Carroll County government. And of course, Graphic Communication is always there for us to cover the event and let people know it's happening. So we love working with you guys too. And for the second time, Brad Cole Construction is joining us, helping us with the forklift for the event and just being able to even, handle those bigger drop-offs. We had a couple pallets last year that were great to help us with that. Of course, we're super great to our host, the Tabernacle Baptist Church, and our sponsors, SLM Recycling. And if you ever have an issue with recycling your appliances, you should give them a call because they take a lot of those stuff a lot of the stuff that we don't, like your power tools. They probably take them. Fridges, washing machines, they take that stuff too. So, but don't bring those to the e-recycling, please.
Yeah, please don't. We will look at you and say, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. Will you please keep moving? Because we can't do this. So why don't we go over, I know we only have a few minutes left here, so how about we go through the details again for folks listening. If anyone at home has some electronics, when, where, what can they bring? Tell us the whole story.
Alrighty, so on Saturday, right, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at 9 a.m. from 1 to p.m., we will be accepting electronics at Tabernacle Baptist Church. We want you in and out as quickly as possible to recycle your electronics. So that's your phones, your laptops, your TVs. And again, that's 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Tabernacle Baptist Church.
And Tabernacle's here in Carrollton. Mm-hmm. I know it's right off the bypass. It's up behind the Kroger.
Yes.
Right.
That entire shopping center where the Goodwill and everything is. I believe there is a back road back there. But did you say the entrance will be off the bypass?
Yes, the entrance will be close to the bypass. It'll be an entrance and an exit only, I guess you could say, lane. So be on the lookout for our entrance signs. And we'll be there. You'll see our tents. We're right by the entrance.
Excellent. And what kind of stuff can folks bring?
So that's your phones, your laptops, your TVs, your video consoles, your speakers. I'm thinking printers. Anything along those lines, and we are accepting batteries this Saturday as well.
And all of your cables and cords. I know I have a box that I don't know what those things do anymore, but I have a full box of those. So if you have something like that, just bring them over. We'll take them.
Yeah, they all just end up getting tied up in knots, and they've been sitting in a box for years.
And
it's
you
like,
find those chargers, it's like, I found an iPhone charger, but it has that giant little foot that you don't know even what it went to. So yeah, all those things can be recycled as well.
I got to say, the sudden influx of technology, it's like our technology has changed at such a drastic rate. I mean, it's weird that, within 50 years, we went from like the Wright brothers to being on the moon. You know what I mean? So it's pretty weird to think that. So it's not that surprising when you think about all the electronics people have piled up in their houses. As you guys mentioned, phones, cords, TVs, not the wooden kind.
Not the
big console kinds or the projection kinds, but you can have the flat screens. It's shocking how much of this collects. And I mean, and as you mentioned, folks could potentially just get rid of this other ways. And we're glad that they're going to recycle it. We're glad they're not going to litter it or something. I mean, but we're so glad that your guys are doing this. And so this is going to be from 9 to 1. What do you guys have any other recycling events that are coming up in the near future?
We do. On May 15th, so exactly in 4 weeks from this Saturday, we'll have our biggest event in years, which will be the tire recycling, household hazardous waste, and paper shredding. So everybody knows what paper shredding is. It's right at the tax day, but hopefully you will have your papers in order by then. So we will accept, I think, 3 boxes per person to just shred safely through one of our sponsors.
American Document Security.
Yes, thank you, Josh. So other than that, we're doing the household hazardous waste, which is, excuse me, your chemicals and fertilizers and all that. But our tire recycling, we are so happy we got our STAR EPD grant for $8,500, which is 4 tractor trailers of tires. So we save all your tires, please, and bring them to the event. We'll recycle them for free again. So
excellent. And that will be later in the year, but coming up Saturday, it's going to be the e-recycling event 9 to 1 at Tabernacle Baptist Church. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure, Josh.
And thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time.